We've reached book 2 now, and that means it's time to start making the beams for the top deck. The beams are 9 inches wide and 7 inches deep, and there are different ways to make up these beams. This is just my preferred way of how we go about this exercise. To do this, it's a dirty, messy job. We're going to be using Proxon jointer, the bandsaw, and doing a lot of hand sanding. So we're off to the outside shop, my dirty shop, to get this job done. The one time we can use a power tool to sand is the thickness sander. This is an old Preac that I have that really has done a fantastic job over the years. We're going to cut the bulk stock. So the first thing we need to do is set the shaper, which is adjusted here. And now we're going to, we have to cut off to make sure we have a square here. You see it's quite a problem. So we're going to take this edge down. When that line disappears, we know we've got it. Now that we've squared the stock, we have a template which we've made up and checked against the book, and we're going to draw between the top and the bottom, and we don't mind making this a little fat because we're going to be sanding it down. The next thing we do is that we adjust the blade on the saw to make sure it's absolutely square. The Proxon bandsaw has some limitations. It can't cut a piece taller than 1 5/8 inches. And the throat is short just on 6 inches, so I'd go with 5 3/4. So we have a square board here and we have a square board here, so we can clamp them together. And put this through the table saw. Even though this is cut to the rough shape, we would not have cut it perfectly. So we just re-establish the lines. This will help with the cleanup. Now we can cut the second piece. Now we set up this little jig, which is really just clamping the 3 pieces in place. Keep this flat, this jams it in so we can tighten. And what we're going to do is just level off the imperfections. This can only be done by hand. What we're doing is sanding the outside surface. And again, I repeat, this should not be, you should not use power tools, do it by hand. Once we've got this done, we can put it in the pre-act thickness sander. We flip it over and now we do the inside of the curve. The sander will give us an even surface right across the piece, so that when we cut the individual pieces, they'll have a uniform depth, which, as we say, was 7 inches. The key to using the sander is to take little bits. Don't try to rush it down. Just take a little bit each time, and then use the vernier caliper to check the measurement all the time. And once you do this, you're going to have success with the piece. The real test is to put the piece against the template, and it's perfect. Even though we need 22 beams, I again like to put something in the bank, so I'll cut 26, 28 beams and just have spare in case I screw up somewhere down the line. That's it in a nutshell. It probably took me 3 or 4 hours to get this done. I actually made a whole batch that with the wrong measurement, but it really wasn't that hard once you have the proper tools. The bandsaw, a well set up bandsaw, really makes this job very easy to do. So enjoy your Christmas, and I'll see you sometime in January.